Hello everyone and welcome to the last week of the Big East Invitational. Today, the Big East are going to be competing against each other to earn their seeding in this final week for the LAN event hosted in New York City on the 7th and 8th of December. These games will be played in a best-of-5 format with 4 matches taking place, I'd say every Sunday now, but this, of course, is the last week. So if you don't want to miss out on any of the action, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Twitch at @officialegf. My name is Cavan Navik Dignan, and today I'm joined by Meet and Greek. How are you doing today, Greek?
Hey everyone, I'm George Zogby, go by Meet and Greek, and we are in the final week here, Cavan, and I'm very excited. We have 4 really awesome matchups for this evening, or I guess afternoon. We have Marquette University going up against DePaul. Right after that, we'll have Butler University going up against Georgetown. Then we'll have St. John's and Xavier, and finally, we'll close the show with Villanova and Seton Hall. And these are going to be very great matchups. 2 teams that I'm very interested to see playing are actually going to be in our first matchup. We have Marquette and DePaul. Marquette currently sitting at 3-0, and who else is also 3-0? Butler University. So Marquette wants to be able to take this game and take that first seed away from Butler, but they're also going to have to wait and see the results of the Butler match because Butler is also currently 3-0, and it could go down to win differential for the games or even potentially score differential. So this is a very tight race up the top here, the leaderboard. Of course, all these teams playing for a chance to get a really good seed going into the LAN event in New York City. That's going to be so intense where the 2 groups will be made of these teams. Number 1 seed, number 2 seed will be in separate groups to avoid a group of death, but we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, that LAN event is going to be so very exciting, right? Once they get into it, once we figure out these final seedings, the teams can start prepping themselves for whoever they're going to end up grouped against at the LAN event. Because it's one thing, like, you know your schedule, you know who you're playing against, but you only get to see like 4 weeks of them playing against each other. But then once you know who you're grouped against, you can kind of pay a bit more closer attention and then start worrying about whoever makes it out of groups when they get out of groups.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just looking at the overall picture here while we're waiting for our wonderful teams to join our server. We're actually looking at it. Georgetown University, they're sitting at 0-2. They might be able to get a little bit of a redemption today when they go ahead and play Butler. That's going to be a tall order because Butler, of course, is also at the top of that leaderboard. So a lot of flip flopping could happen today. And we're gonna have to see what really happens, but it's not the end of the world if your team doesn't really perform in these 4 weeks. The way I see it is that these 4 preliminary invitational weeks are a great way to build the base for your team in preparation for LAN. So you're getting a really good look at all the teams that you're going to be facing at the actual LAN event. So you'll be able to take notes and look at those replays and then hopefully pop off.
Yeah. And being able to look at those replays and find where your opponent struggles, what they get scored on, what they manage to save, will give you a good analytic view on what you can kind of prepare for and build up towards Greek. And we are still just waiting for one of our teams to end up joining this game, and we will be getting into it. Greek, what do you think about the current game, Marquette versus DePaul?
Marquette versus DePaul. It's going to be a very tough one. I understand that Marquette is currently sitting at 3-0. DePaul 1-1. And if I look at DePaul's loss, I believe they lost to Seton Hall, and Seton Hall is a very good school as well. They're sitting at number 3 on the leaderboard, so this is going to be a very close one. I wouldn't call it a blowout win for Marquette just yet, even though they're sitting undefeated. I think it can go either way, and I think there's a lot of momentum on the side of DePaul because they can gain a lot of ground on the leaderboard. They would, I think, supersede Seton Hall if they're able to take the W right now. I think they actually would be able to do that if they get a clean 3-0 sweep. It would do wonders for their game differential. So again, though, it's so hard to see what's going to happen, especially because we're so early on in the day. In fact, Seton Hall is playing last today, so we really wouldn't know what potentially could happen until the very end of the day.
Yeah, and you bring up that Seton Hall beat, or DePaul lost to Seton Hall, right? But when you actually take a look at that game, and that went to round 5 with, I believe, the last goal being an overtime goal. So if you look at that, that's a good sign for DePaul, right? Because they managed to take the top seed all the way to game 5 overtime.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that one. Yeah, Seton Hall is a very good team, and the fact that they're able to bring it to Game 5 says wonders about what they're doing. But I think we have done enough waiting. Our players are loaded, and let's get right into this one. A fresh 5 minutes on the clock. Of course, as always, going to be a best of 5. Marquette University in the blue, DePaul in the orange. Take this one away.
Yeah, I mean, Marquette in the blue, like you said. And we have a DePaul in the orange. As we see a nice little shot coming out from Ops there, it is saved away by Rumble. Karma Jr. passing it into that center field. Rumble getting a nice aerial shot. We see Ops, though, just saving it, managing to try and clear it away. JFG getting the ball getting stolen away by Flux, then rebounded by Neo Greek. There's a lot of back and forth at the moment, and the positioning and rotations we're seeing already coming out is actually quite good from the side of DePaul.
Yeah, we're seeing some great offensive action as Flux is able to score. We're taking another look at this replay. I'm very interested to see this ball was bouncing all over the defensive half here. Everyone is in net to cover. JFG and Nito were right there, but we're not able to make contact with the ball. Flux is just able to throw that one right in. Easy goal for DePaul, and they take their early lead.
Yeah, that first goal now for DePaul is obviously a good sign as they're getting another opportunity to score. Flux is going to find it. And that's going to bring them 2 goals up in 35 seconds, Greek.
Yeah, this kickoff goal, look at Karma doing such a fantastic job just getting that right by the defense, even bumps up out of the way in the net. And of course, Flux coming in to play the janitor role, clean things up. Flux off to a hot start, has 2 goals in 35 seconds already into this game. DePaul, they're just on fire.
Yeah, oh my goodness, Rumble almost finding another kickoff goal there off of the side. I mean, that was incredibly close. Fortunately for Marquette, that wasn't the actual reality of the situation. As Rumble takes a shot onto goal, and he is going to find it.
Oh, this is very rough for Marquette. This is very demoralizing. JFG, I like the idea trying to bring that ball up the sidewall there, but that just completely went centered, and all Rumble had to do was throw it on net. Ops was there, but just a little too much oomph on that ball. Couldn't get to it in time.
I mean, that was incredibly unfortunate for Marquette at the moment, and they need to be able to strike back at the moment. There's a good clear coming out here. Ups looking to set it up, but Rumble does steal it away past to Flux. A good interception coming out from Neo there, and now we see Marquette with the momentum. Oh, okay, Karma getting a nice little dunk, but Ups flying over, getting the rebound. Resetting it, centering it up for his team. It does bounce right in front of the goal, but there was nobody from Marquette's side to follow it up.
That's rough because Ops was doing a fantastic job playing interference, bumping the goalie. I believe it was Flux who was in that. Just need someone there to hit that ball in, but nobody was playing too aggressively. And that's kind of what you need to do if you're Marquette right now. You're down by 3 goals. You have 3.5 minutes left. I don't want to do the math real quickly here, Navik, but there's not many opportunities in this game to take those free shots.
Well, yeah, 3.5 minutes is obviously 1 minute and 10 seconds. So you got 70 seconds on average on goal. You know, division. As we do see a good opportunity by Marquette trying to, but again, they're getting this ball centered and there's just no follow-ups to actually try and strike.
Yeah, and I think they're just playing a little too conservatively. Yet, this is only game 1. So it's not the worst thing in the world if you drop this one. However, when you're so tight with Butler at the top of the leaderboard, you want the 3-0 if you're Marquette to ensure they have a really good chance of taking that #1 seed.
Yeah, no, dropping a game here is definitely not what you want to be doing in this situation at all, right? When you're looking at win-loss differential. So they really, really need to be trying to take this. But at the moment, we're seeing a fantastic job by DePaul, making sure, I mean, getting a 3-0 lead so early is such a massive advantage.
Oh, yeah, I 100% agree. It's because of the momentum. It's so demoralizing to be down 3-0 in game 1 and Flux almost puts another one in. That would have been a hat trick from him early on in this game. And there's still only there's a little less than half the game left. There's still so much time that Marquette could really start to mount a comeback if they really tried.
Yeah, no, 100%. We say it time and time again, right? Whatever one team does in the first half, you can do in the second half.
We'll have to see what changes they make, but right now it just looks like Marquette University, so much offensive pressure. They're going up. Look at these aerials. So confident right now. It's because they're not getting pressured by this Marquette offense. But DePaul finally lets one through. JFG scores.
Yeah, JFG, that was a fantastic save there. Oh, a fantastic shot, I should say. JFG getting a nice rebound off of Neo, just managing to tap it in there. That was a good save attempt there, but I feel like he just didn't jump early enough.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit too rusty on the defensive half. You can't blame them. DePaul hasn't had to play defense for 4 minutes almost, and they've just been playing so much offense. But Flux is doing a really great job killing that ball right on top of that goal, but no one was there to finish it off. And now Nito is going to have an opportunity. No boost in the tank. It's not going to be able to bring that one downtown.
Yeah, no, and now we're going to see JFG managing to get it past Rumble. Flux into the air, though, reversing that momentum. Opting back, playing very patiently. A bit of a long shot coming out here, and he might be able to find it. Rumble just literally landing on the hood of Rumble's car. Ooh. A demolition coming out onto JFG here, so we can see DePaul playing aggressively, and oh no!
Man, that's rough.
I believe, was that JFG
Flux going
for boost?
Yeah, I want to take another look at this. Nito was in that, but gets demoed by Rumble. JFG actually respawns in that corner. That defense was just nowhere to be seen. That's because of the aggressiveness of this DePaul team right now. They're going to take a 4-1 lead. And now Flux, with the hat trick, of course, playing exceptionally well.
Yeah, Flux is really bringing out the showstoppers at the moment. As JFG gets a lovely aerial interception, is going to chip it, hits the crossbar, but Ops follows it up and finds that goal.
And Karma Juni was actually there to make the save, just couldn't get the touch on this. Had so much time actually to be able to hit that ball. You can't, I guess, get flustered up in that situation. Just take your time with it. Instead, Ops was able to come away with a nice clean shot. There's under a minute to go. 2-goal differential. I think now that could be the opportunity they're looking for. But look at this. This ball's in the corner of the DePaul field, but no one from Marquette is pressuring.
No, and Marquette needs to be putting on this pressure right when the ball is in opposition side, and Ups is looking for this opportunity, but Flux, just slightly more momentum, is going to be able to take that lead. And this is it right now, right? It's these split-second decisions that DePaul are just playing more aggressively on and trying to capitalize on, Greek, that I think is giving them the lead.
No, I 100% agree. I think Marquette University right now, they're playing a little too hesitantly. I think in game 2, if they come out with more pizzazz, some more offensive pressure, and they just try to go for some of these shots. Like, for example, right here, Karma Juni. This is so aggressive. I'm loving this player. Everyone's involved on the offense here for DePaul, and they're just giving no time for Marquette to react, and that's the kind of speed you want to play with here, because then you get to set the own tempo for your team, and that's when you start to take control of pretty much all aspects of the game. It's 5-2 right now. They're looking for potentially more. Flux is going to come in, uncharacteristically misses from close range, but I mean, that just goes to show how much aggression is coming out from DePaul.
Yeah, and that is going to be point number 1 going towards DePaul, which in the situation of the standings, that is, if you're Butler right now, you are so happy that DePaul just won that first round.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, if DePaul taking game 1, it spells wonders here for Butler. However, it's also very interesting to think about as well. No matter what happens, I mean, unless, of course, Marquette drops the whole series, which is very possible. DePaul's playing super hot right now. There's a chance that Butler and Marquette could end up in separate groups. However, if Marquette drops and potentially goes to 3rd place, and Butler stays at 1st, they would be put in the same group. And we haven't actually seen those two teams play each other in a head-to-head yet, so I'm going to be very interested to see what would happen there. However, that's a lot of stipulation. A lot could happen. A lot could change from now until then. Right now, we're looking at DePaul really bring it to Marquette, and I want to see what they do in game 2 to keep this hot streak going, because I'm really enjoying this team.
Yeah, and now getting into game 2, we need to see Marquette turning this around, right? Gaining some momentum. And like you said, right, tempo, I think, is the key word, because once you have the tempo in any form of sport, esports, you get that more positive mindset as well, because you get just the thrill of like, winning. And that's absolutely a big cause to play better and more aggressively, because you're in a winning position.
Yeah, but let's see what happens right away. We're seeing some great offensive possession here from DePaul. Marquette's getting the clears that they need, and they're kind of starting to create some offense, but they're more so just sending that ball downfield, maybe having some shots on target. We saw that from Karma Juni, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of great offense, and that was actually the chance I was waiting for Marquette. Nita was in the air, but just couldn't make contact.
Yeah, no, Nito really playing a good, aggressive play right there, right? He really thought it through and waited for his opportunity, and it did strike. Good save coming out from Ops there. They need to find a clear, though, and like you said, just get more offensive possession in the opposition side of the field.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what happens here. Here comes Ops. JFG's down on the ground. Can the pass be made? No, instead, that ball's going to go wide, and we saw a great potential team opportunity there for Marquette, but they couldn't get it. But here comes the shot from Flux. Are you kidding me?
That was what a phenomenal shot from Flux. You know, sometimes you question if these things are intentional. I 100% think that was, but that just literally slid in perfectly.
That was amazing. The pass from Karma Jr. exactly where it had to be. Flux throwing that thing upper 90. No one on defense could have gone to that one. That was just an excellent pass. DePaul's on fire right now. Yeah,
DePaul is playing so well as we see Flux getting another opportunity here. Does set it up. Karma Jr. though, sitting in the back. Up's getting to clear it. He's ready to reset it though. Rebounds it off the top. You see Rumble flying in. He taps it. Oh! It hits the sidebar.
Oh my goodness, right there. If they took that goal, I would say, wow, DePaul's going to take this series. They're just playing so well right now. This is such an uncharacteristic Marquette team. They were just not playing to their best of the ability, but DePaul is taking full advantage. So much offensive pressure being generated right now as we're seeing just the defense coming through for them as well. So much is happening.
Yeah, no, a lot is happening at the moment. There's a lot of back and forth. Karma Jr., though, might be able to run with it as he just needs to get it past JFG. A lovely chip. Oh. It does hit that crossbar. Rumble resetting up back in the center. Karma Jr. coming in with the aerial. Doesn't. He's just not able to get it slightly too low, but Flux is going to say, I'll give it a shot.
No, that was an excellent, actually, I wouldn't say that was a pass on target. Oh, whoa, Karma Jr. I thought that was going to go center and get cleared away. Instead, this ball goes right in.
Yeah, I mean, the rotations here, right? You see Rumble take a shot. Karma Jr. taking the shot before, managed to rotate around, resetting back up on the other side of the field, and he manages to find the goal there, Greek. And I think, like we always seem to mention, rotations are so important, and when they're executed this well, it just feels good.
Yeah, and you saw Nito in goal for that actually was just a split second away from making that save, and that's just the kind of speed that DePaul is working with here, is that you could be in position to make the clear if you're Marquette, but the speed is just there for DePaul, making it so much more difficult to get the clears and saves that you need.
Yeah, and that's exactly why people go for shots like pinches. We haven't seen one at the moment, but when a ball is just moving so fast, the reaction speed really needs to be on point to save it. And at the moment, we're seeing a lot of pressure once again onto Marquette. Marquette's just not finding the clears they want.
They're not, and that's really what a shame, because that ball, that shot right there, that clear from Nito went right into the hands of Rumble, and that's exactly what you need to do if you're DePaul, just cutting off all of these clears and keeping that possession up. The more time that you keep this ball on the blue half of the field, the more likely you're going to get a chance to score. I mean, it's just basic math, and also they're pressuring the defense so much. They're taking boosts. They're really limiting themselves on offense, them being Marquette, that it's just working out so well. They're just complete control right now of the tempo.
Yeah, no, if you're watching, every time you see Marquette manage to get a clear, there's somebody from DePaul ready to knock it right back, and there's no follow-up because they haven't been given the chance to rotate into an offensive position. They're just stuck in defense at the moment.
Yeah, and I think what would really help Marquette, and there's an example right there, Karma Jr. cutting that pass off to Rumble. Here comes Karma Jr. again. Can he get another touch? No, Ops is there, but here comes Flux. Flux has a little bit more boost than the tank. Can he get to the ball? Doesn't have to. He scored.
I mean, and again, this is what we're saying, right? There's so much aggressive play that as soon as they get a clear, Flux was on that immediately, right? From the little chip.
Flux is popping off right now.
They 100% are. Flux is playing amazing. DePaul is doing super duper well. And it just seems like Marquette doesn't know what to do in this situation.
Yeah, no, they're playing a little too hesitantly. You're seeing the defensive clears. What I was going to comment on that is that they're clearing the ball, but they're not clearing it to one of their offenders. You see Karma Jr. right there for the clear from JFG. It's just like they're feeding them, and it just feeds into another offensive possession where Rumble is able to score.
Yeah, a minute left onto the clock, and I believe we touched on this subject a little bit last week, but I think you'd agree with me in saying that this is the time where you need to mentally reset going into your next game and try and win the reverse sweep.
No, yeah, no, I 100% agree. There needs to be a just complete overhaul of what Marquette is doing right now. They just need to connect better on their passes. They scored 2 goals last game, so I know they have it in them to bring it to this DePaul team, but it's just not showing up right now. here in game 2, and now they're going to go into game 3, potential sweep situation for them, and that's just bad looks going into the land scenario here, because it just does not really show how hard they worked for that 3-0 record coming into this game.
No, and it is very difficult, and I think DePaul are a bit of a dark horse, right? Because they're the bye, so you've only seen them 2 games. They lost one of their games, but then when you actually look at it and don't just look at it as the win-loss value, they almost won, right? Like a split difference could have been a completely different scoreline of them, and they could be going into this game with a 3-0 record, with a 2-0 record, and bringing it to a 3-0 record by the end of this. So they're not a bad team by any sense of the word. And if Marquette thought they could come in here and underestimate them because of the standing, that has clearly backfired.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think most of this is mentality. And I agree with you. If you look at that 1-1 record, if you're Marquette, you're thinking, oh, yeah, we're 3-0. We're going to take this game so easy. No, you're wrong. DePaul is coming out. They're throwing punches. And I just want to take a look at that stat line real quick of just how impressive this entire team is. You see just how aggressive they are with all of their shots as well. But all of these shot attempts are assisted. Look at all 4 of these goals came with an assist on the mark as well. We're getting saves in the mix too. It's just a very good all-around team. That's why they're really bringing it to Marquette. We're seeing caster math, goodness, 11 shots on goal for DePaul, 5 for Marquette. They're just doubling their output right now, and it's really devastating for Marquette. They really have to bring this back. They want to start this reverse sweep.
Yeah, no, I agree. Interestingly, another bit of that statistic, it's interesting to see Marquette got 5 shots onto the opposition's goal, considering how dominating that game looked.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting, but I think that Marquette was able to limit those shots to ones that were slightly off target or not threatening, and I think that was the key as well.
Yes.
Because in Rocket League, you're gonna get you're gonna have your opponent throw shots on your own net, but it's how you deal with that really matters. And I think that DePaul here is doing an exceptional job with the rotation, that where when there's a threat on their net, they're able to minimize it appropriately and then just immediately bring it back on offense.
Yeah, and that looked like it could have been Marquette's chances. JFG flies in there. Ops has a lot of boost. They're trying to win this, but oh no, the rebound off of JFG is going to send the ball straight towards their goal. Flux sees the opportunity and goes for it. Ops are getting ready here to rotate it. They're just trying to clear it out. It's going to get passed straight to Rumble, and Neo with an absolutely phenomenal save there. Right time, right place as JFG gets a shot onto goal, and goal 1 is going to Marquette.
And right here, we see a very excellent example of so much pressure coming in from DePaul, but Marquette University, JHG, did a fantastic job of minimizing that threat and actually turning it into a goal. So this is a start now. If you're Marquette, you have a goal, you have the lead. Are you want to change your play style, or you're going to keep it as it is? You have to maintain this here, or else you're just going to walk away getting swept.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely the thing, right? Once you get that 1 goal, once you start taking that lead, it physically, like mentally triggers you to play more aggressive, because you're starting to feel more confident. You start to play more aggressive, and that's what they need to be doing. But Karma Jr. here with a lovely shot. Ops managing to save it, though. So at the moment, a lot of back and forth. Flux is going to attempt it. A good pinch coming out from Neo there, sending the ball straight up and slightly to the left, getting it away from that danger zone of sitting right in front of their goal.
Oh, what an excellent pass coming here. Flux was there. Nito was there as well to play defense. But again, just the pass plays coming out from DePaul makes them so deadly.
Yeah, at the moment, that looked incredibly close. As they were very fortunate that they saved that drop down with such momentum. A good save here coming out from Marquette. And this is all they want to be doing. They want to be keeping that lead. Now they're being put into that corner that they have the last 2 games. And this is the do or die situation, right? They need to figure out how to not let DePaul hold all of the aggression. And so far, they're doing an all right job at it.
They're doing an all right job, but there's still so much opportunity on this side of the field. In fact, actually, this could be another chance here. Oh, wow. That ball didn't go in. No, Ops is there to clean up. And this is very interesting for me, Navik, because there's so much offensive opportunity for DePaul, but Marquette is coming away with these breakaway goals. And they're actually, I think they're realizing that there's so much offense on DePaul, but that they're not leaving enough time to go back on defense. So that's how they're capitalizing.
Yeah, and that's 100% like the con to the playstyle that DePaul has been using, right? But if your opposition, and there's going to be a goal coming out from DePaul. That was lovely.
That was a great job, but of course you have 2 defenders in net, Ops and Needle. Ops, a great attempt there to I guess, just get in front of the ball. Unfortunately, though, even with bodies in net, no one was up for that rebound off the backboard, and backboard defense is so important in Rocket League. If you let that ball bounce any more than a couple meters away from your net, it's going to spell disaster because you already know the offense is already on top of that.
Yeah, and now a goal differential, right? But for the first time ever, it is in the favor of Marquette. Now Up's getting a nice clear, and at the moment, they are doing a really good job. They're starting to find those clears that they want. They're starting to be able to play more aggressively, but they cannot, under any circumstance, let DePaul even this out.
No, you can't, because then it would just completely just negate all of the offense that they've generated throughout this entire game. They've been doing such a great job, but if they let DePaul tie this one up, it's going to spell disaster.
A good rotation from Ups there, managing to get into the defensive position, clear it out towards their goal. Karma Jr. with a lovely save, a good pass across, but Rumble wasn't in position to try and get it. He manages to get there just in time, but he wasn't there waiting like we have seen DePaul setting up these really weird and long passes that have managed to score them goals.
Yeah, and I'm actually very curious to see what's going to happen here, because this ball has been on the orange half for quite a bit of time. This is the longest time of possession that we've seen from Marquette. And I want to see them generate some shots on net, because while this ball is on the orange half, we're not seeing a whole lot of offensive pressure. And right now, it's just another opportunity from Karma Jr. taking that one from midfield, and that's how aggressive this DePaul. Flux, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think, no, you're saying Flux, are you kidding me? But I think that play relied a lot on Rumble, right? Look how patiently he was sitting there, and then Flux immediately ran it down once he saw Rumble manage to cause the momentum shift and managed to capitalize on it, bringing it to 2-2.
Yeah, but take another look at the angle Flux is able to come into that ball, hit it with his back wheels, and that just completely changed the trajectory. Throwing it on net, an impossible save for Marquette, and they tied this one up, Navik, and now I'm very concerned for the health of Marquette's offense, because right now they're under so much pressure. They need a goal here at least to keep them away from overtime, because overtime would be the real challenge for them, especially against this hot DePaul team.
Yeah, a good save from Karma Jr. there as Neo tried to capitalize on it. Rumble managing to get it past Ops, reversing the momentum once again. A bit of a pinch coming up straight up, now resetting the ball completely, not going left or right, as Flux gets a lovely hit coming in. It's so back and forth at the moment that any one mistake will completely shift how this game goes.
Yeah, we're going to have to see, but right now this ball is dangerously on the blue half. I'm curious to see what happens, but Karma Jr. had a fantastic touch. JFG able to cut that off, but Rumble is there. Flux is going to be able to go up in the air, puts a touch on, but can't throw it on target. And now we might have some offensive opportunity coming in for Marquette.
Oh, JFG just missing the touch on the ball there that would have changed the trajectory and possibly got it in. You know, I never like saying this, but I feel like their save right there was a good double commit earlier on, and that allowed them to try and clear the ball. But I feel like if they managed to save it with one, they would have been able to set up, and JFG wouldn't have been the only one running to try and secure that goal. Now 10 or 15 seconds left onto the goal. A demolition does come out onto JFG. That looked like it almost went in. If that was a double demo, that could have maybe worked out for them.
Could have, but now that's where the aggression is working out really well for Marquette. They're getting some opportunities, but watch out. Flux has had almost an opportunity there. If there was another second on the clock, that could have turned into another touch on the net, but now we're in overtime.
Yeah, and this is, like you said, the do or die situation. As Marquette are going to be able to get it 6 minutes in, they are going to take game number 2.
Yeah, kickoff goal here, working out really well here. And Marquette stay alive, force game 4. This has been a very close game.
Yeah, no, that was incredibly close. And now we do not see Marquette in that situation where they are back to the wall, right? They were 2 points down. They've managed to even it. And that's exactly what you want to be seeing. Do you want to talk about the scoreline at all this time around, Greek? Because I think there's some interesting stories here.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do, especially because Marquette started out with those 2 quick goals on DePaul, and DePaul had to battle tooth and nail to tie this one up. If Marquette didn't score those 2 initial goals, hey, we'd be talking about a completely different series right now. Marquette would be going home with the loss on their record. But right now, goodness. Now, if you're DePaul, you have to start worrying a little bit. I wouldn't change much, but I would change up the defense a little bit because they are starting to lack in that department. We're seeing a lot more shot opportunities coming out for Marquette. They were able to get 9 this game in comparison to just 5 last game. So complete shift in offense for them. They're playing exceptionally well. And of course, that overtime goal helps quite a bit too. That's going to be great for their momentum going into game 4. And now that you get that first win out of the way, the rest of the series doesn't seem too difficult, I would say. So, in my opinion, I think that Marquette is in a fantastic position right now to bring it back for DePaul.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely exactly what can happen here, right? Now all of that momentum is on Marquette. They managed to win a game, and as our players load in, we should be able to see how this goes, right? Like, this could be very, very interesting.
Yeah, no, I'm very interested to see what happens. I think if Marquette starts out strong and fast like they did last game, I think they'll be able to take another game in this series. I think that was really the key for them. We saw that when they have the slow start and it allows DePaul to really build up their offense. I think that is kind of indicative of what happens in the rest of the game, as actually our players are joining up the lobby right now. We're still waiting, unfortunately, for our friends at Marquette to join up. However, I think it's a great opportunity to also talk about what's at stake here for Marquette. Of course, the 3-0, their flawless season. You can almost say season in quotation marks. Their flawless record on the line here. They could drop, and that could give Butler an excuse to grab that first place seeding all for themselves. I think that they're really fighting back. They really want to keep that flawless record going into the LAN at New York City, folks. This is super important, getting that seeding right. But DePaul here, on the other side of things, they're trying to redeem themselves. I think they're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, they are doing a really good job. And Marquette now being able to take that one game, like you said, that's a lot of momentum coming back into their favor, right? And now coming in to game number 4. Again, like we said last time, this is do or die for Marquette once again. They could lose this round and they lose the set, right? Or this might be that Cinderella story where they manage to sweep it back, because this is looking very, very good. Man. Unfortunately, Ops is not going to be able to thread it through the middle. JFG trying to, and is it going to roll in? It is!
Oh, and right here off the kickoff. And now this is 2 kickoff goals back-to-back. You count the overtime goal from last game and this one right here. Just a little panicky on the side of DePaul University. And Marquette is able to strike first. This is exactly what they needed to start this game off. They need this momentum here. If they can get to game 5, they have all the pieces now. They just got to hold out.
Yeah, and like you said, right, they have all of the pieces. They're slowly being able to get it. They get the lead again this round, and if that's anything like it was last game, that is indicative that they will win the round. But anything can happen in a Rocket League game, and this could be exactly what DePaul need to find, and they are going to even out 1-1. We're only 30 seconds in, and there's already been 2 goals, Greek.
Yeah, and there's so much offensive presence here. If Rumble wasn't able to score this one, Karma Jr. was there, but you got to ask yourself, where was the Marquette defense? They just got completely put out of position by that play there. And now 30 seconds in, we're tied right back up. It's as if we restarted the game. Let's see what can happen from here on out.
Yeah, managing to try and see what happens here. We are seeing Marquette putting on that offensive nature as they're getting a nice rebound. JFG following it up. He's going to hit the sidebar. He manages to tap it, but doesn't quite find it as Rumble's going to try and break away at the moment. Up's chasing right after him. They are going neck and neck for this ball. Rumble manages to get the fadeaway as Flux is going to get a shot. Nito clearing it away now. I mean, that was looking very, very dangerous for Marquette.
Yeah, it was very scary. Here comes a shot on net. Flux can't get there. Luckily for him, that ball bounces away. Flux gets a tap on the ball. This ball is still not scored yet. Nito is there to finish it off. And the 1-2-3 pass play off the backboard did so well here for Marquette. Everyone on the offense involved in the play, and they finally make its way through. 2-1 Marquette.
Yeah, that was a 4-step process. We saw backboard into like 90-degree corner into the sidebar straight into the goal. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 profit, right? as we
Yeah,
are seeing
goodness.
a good offensive kickoff again coming up from Marquette. Now having the lead, they're trying to set it up. It is not going to tap the ceiling, so we're not going to get that downwards momentum. Now we are, as we see DePaul trying to run away with it. Nito stealing it away as they are trying time and time again to set this ball up. We are seeing DePaul for possibly the first time, like, properly being put into a completely defensive situation as we see Marquette come in time and time again. Managed to shut a lot of it down, but DePaul now starting to run away with it. We're going to see a shot from Rumble. JFG saving it. Not quite the clear that they're looking for, though. Rumble not being able to find it. We are going to see a bit of a runaway here from Nito Greek.
Yeah, and Flux on the back burner right here on defense actually didn't have boost. Had to force to go back into his own corner, and that allowed some more offensive pressure to come in from Marquette. But here comes Rumble, a shot on net. No, it's a pass to Flux. Can't get the one on target. But actually like that. That's a really, what's so deadly about DePaul is that they have options. That ball could have been shot on net. Instead it was deflected to Flux for a pass. And that's how you know you're in trouble, is when you start giving them options.
Yeah, giving your opposition, when your opposition has choices of how they can score, it's not a good sign. But at the moment, Nito's doing an absolutely phenomenal job in this defensive position. He's saved quite a few balls. Ups now starting to play aggressively, looking to try and get that backboard shot cleared away by Flux. Back to JFG, now recentering it, knocked away again. We're just playing ping pong at the moment.
Yeah, and you know, I got to compliment Nito on his defensive efforts as well, because that last clear he was able to get, actually Karma Juni was attempting to demo him and just completely clear him out of the play. If that contact was made, even if it wasn't a demolition, would have still cleared out the net. That would have tied the game up with an easy shot coming in, I believe, from Rumble. So right here, DePaul, they're still playing their A game, but watch out for Nito. Not only a bastion on defense, but a striker on offense.
That was a fantastic read from Nito, right? He was in the right position. He got it. He jumped at just the right time. And that was such a tight angle, right? A little bit more to the left, a little bit further up. That wouldn't have went in.
Yeah, and right now, this is just completely 180 flip Marquette offense here. We're just not even offense in general, also defense. It's just the overall team. They're playing so much better. I'm loving this. They're really making an excuse to bring this all the way to Game 5. They want that reverse sweep.
Yeah, they definitely, needed a bit of warm-up time. First two games were looking a bit, a bit dicey. But now they've come in and they are really, really starting to formulate as a team, right? The ice has melted a bit. They're starting to gel. And it's working out really well. That almost went in off the rebound off of Rumble.
Yeah, and I don't want to curse this DePaul team, but I looked at when they played Seton Hall, and they were actually reverse sweep. So this is very scary territory for them. They had the opportunity very easily to take two series in 3-0 sweep fashion, but now there's a chance that both could go to Game 5 and maybe they get reverse sweeped in two of them. So they can't get there, but Karma Juni is working so hard to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, Karma Juni managed to find a lovely goal there. I mean, look at that freestyle, right? Like, when you see somebody doing that, it's always like, you know what? That was respectful. That was a good goal. Now, coming into the kickoff. Oh, Nito managed
to... Look...
Go on, Greek.
No, we're good. We're good. We got 46 seconds left. We're seeing some great offensive pressure from DePaul. I'm wondering if they can bring it back. Rumble has an opportunity. Actually gets it past two. Can he get it past JFG? No, going for the pinch. I love the style.
Yeah,
just not there, though.
No, it's not quite there at the moment as Ops manages to clear it towards the boost. He is out at the moment. It doesn't get stolen, but he doesn't commit to it either. Goes straight for the ball. Nito managing to delay it a little bit here, stopping a lot of the moment and clearing it from one side of the field to the other. As we see Ops setting up an attempt here. JFG looking to rebound to it. Nito setting back up into that defensive rotation to make sure they don't get a clear goal over all three of them. Now 10 seconds left onto the clock. DePaul needs to find this, or we are going to be going into the final match. Match point on both teams as Ops gets a shot on to go. It is going to hit the crossbar. Rumble manages to clear it. JFG follows it, touches that crossbar again. It touches the bottom.
Oh, goodness.
And Marquette take game number 4.
What a series. Marquette, it was 3-2, just like last game, but it was just clearly Marquette in control of this game. I can't believe that this is happening right now. They're just completely dominating DePaul. Going into Game 5, there's so much momentum on the side of Marquette. It's almost scary. DePaul now facing potentially their second reverse sweep out of these invitationals. You can't let this happen. I just want to go ahead and look back at the scores, because game 1, DePaul 4-3 against Seton Hall, then 3-1 against Seton Hall. But then from there on out, just Seton Hall taking control. From there on, game 3, my apologies, they took it. I believe it's 4-0. There's so much here from, or 3-0, sorry. So much at stake here for DePaul. 2 reverse sweeps on their season. Doesn't look great. It's not a bad thing. It's better than getting swept 3-0, but it's something you don't want on your record.
No, it always feels bad. It feels awful when you get reverse sweeped once. I can't imagine how it feels getting reverse sweeped twice. So hopefully DePaul doesn't let that happen as we go into game 3. Marquette obviously wanting this to win, because at the moment, if going over the standings, right, if Butler take their game easily, then it's not good for them at all, because win-loss differential will not be in their favor. If they manage to win this and Butler loses their season, or their series, they will be first seed.
Yeah, no, we'll have to see what happens, but right here, Marquette already starting out on some great offensive pressure. A shot from JFG, getting it started hot and early.
Yeah, and now JFG, trying to clear it back up, passing it to Ops. Ops getting a shot towards the goal, tries to bump them away. It hits the side by Neo, follows it up, and it is saved by Rumble. A nice little pop there as he passes it all the way back to Ops. Ops rebounding that clear, trying to recenter it. Rumble saying, not today. Going to pass it over to my boy Karma Juni, as there is a lot of coordination coming out from DePaul at the moment. Look at these passes to each other. Rumble going for a nice little air dribble. Karma Juni looking to set it up, but it gets snatched away by JFG. Neo following up behind him here and actually taking an interesting route, right? He knocks it to the left instead of going onto the goal to hope to try and fake them out on that 50-50. But there is a read from Rumble, and he manages to very, very quickly clear it, resetting back DePaul to try and capitalize on this goal. But we're already a minute in, and unlike seeing 2 goals in 30 seconds last game, we are dead even.
Yeah, this is going to be a very close game. It's game 5. Both teams are going to play super conservatively as Nito trying to bring that run around the corner. Doesn't often work out for the offensive team unless the defense makes a mistake. They're trying to force the issue there. Flux bringing that one downfield, but JFG is going to take control. Can you get this one to somebody? No, instead that one's going to be very scary in front of their own net. And now we're starting to see DePaul create some great offensive pressure here. They've given Marquette so many opportunities this game. It's about time that they start generating their own. But instead, it looks like they're going to be, I guess, canceled out into their own half. But watch out for Rumble. He still's got boost in the tank, but couldn't have enough to get down. Had enough to get in the air, Navik, but just didn't have enough to come back down.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. It's always upsetting when you're making a great play and then Boost just completely betrays you, right? You mismanage it a little bit, and it's nobody's fault but your own, but it always feels bad when you think you could just about make it. Ops here starting to run it down, though. Karma Juni getting it to bounce the opposite direction that Ops was hoping for, as now there's a lot of back and forth. Neo managing to reset it back up, but Flux is in that goal, passes it to Neo. Neo rebounds it back to his team here. Ops clearing it once again. Flux is going to deny that clear, though, as he sets it up completely for his team. Karma Juni on it, passing it to Flux with that pinch. Pinch is occurring as Flux manages to set it back up. JFG, though, finding it. Now it's in the offensive position of Marquette, and as I'm saying that, DePaul manages to flip this around. There's so much back and forth at the moment that it's really anyone's game. This first goal is going to be so important, Greek.
Yeah, a lot of midfield action here as Flux now has so much shape boost in the tank, but Nito is able to cut that one off, cutting off actually his own team and rotation as well. So that's where you have to also be careful, because you can have a valiant effort on defense, but it might actually harm your team overall in rotation if you cut it like that. So that's, again, something you have to take into consideration as this ball actually bumps into Karma Juni mid-flight. That could have been a potential opportunity for Ops, but instead this ball is going to be on the blue half.
Yeah, and now back onto the orange side of the field as Marquette are starting to put on the pressure. We've almost gone 3.5 minutes without any goals, which again is a massive start contract. Both teams playing very, very differently from those first 4 games now, because neither of one of them want to give a goal, right? Because they both know how tragic that would be.
Yeah, no, both teams playing very conservatively, as rightfully so. They don't want to make a mistake here, because I believe the next goal that's scored will probably be the game winner because we're starting to run out of time. But watch out for Flux as the ball unable to really bring it downtown, but that could have been dangerous there. Watch out for GFG. He's able to put one on target. Marquette take the lead late in game 5. Can they hold on?
Yeah, Marquette finding this right now, right? A minute left onto the clock. This has been a back and forth for the past 4 minutes. This is the first goal we've seen. It's not looking good for DePaul to try and find this next goal. And I have a feeling, because I've said that, we are going to see a kickoff goal immediately, Greek, but... Yeah. Oh, okay, it is saved by Ops. I was holding my breath for a second there as Carmagini passes it back to Flux. Ops is trying to get it, and it's just going to roll in. The save from Carmagini was massive.
Yeah, oh my goodness, that was so scary. That would have spelled disaster for DePaul, but instead, they're still quite in this one. But Rumble's going to have to try to beat Ops, was unable to, and now there's so much time being wasted. We had a demo on Flux opening things up on the defense, and this ball is just taking time off the clock, sitting on this orange half. We get to see DePaul bring this one downtown if they're going to be able to make something up, but right here, Flux is able to get contact. Here comes Rumble. Speculative shot towards the backboard. It's going to bounce down. Here's an opportunity around the corner. No! Unable to get something going here. And now everyone from DePaul is just on offense, just unable to make a touch. And now the ball's going to be cleared away. 10 seconds left.
Yeah, I really liked the attempt by DePaul there, right? We saw Rumble chip it, and before he had even touched the ball, Carmagini was flying towards it, but that is the nail in the coffin. It was probably already over with 2 seconds left onto the clock, but that second goal there signs DePaul reverse sweep.
That's so unfortunate. 2 reverse sweeps for DePaul over the entirety of this invitational part of this season. Very unfortunate there, but that's something that you have to think about when you're this team, and something you have to work on is your finishing. This DePaul team came out on fire. 5-2 game 1, 4-0 game 2, and then game 3, that 3-2 win in overtime for Marquette just spelled disaster from there on out. And Marquette was able to take the W on this one. They're feeling very happy. They remain undefeated. They're going to finish these invitationals off at a nice 4-0. DePaul will finish 1-2. Which will be very interesting to see where they land in the standings. But no matter what, both these teams will be going to New York City, which is a fantastic opportunity for them to play in a wonderful LAN environment as well. So with that, I think, still ample opportunity for DePaul, and I think it's a fantastic thing to have happen to them because it's something that they can work on.
Yeah, 100%. And as we are going to get ready into our next game, which will be Butler University playing against Georgetown's Hoya Esports program. So we'll be cutting to a quick break as we get our team set up. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll be right back with more action very soon.